Welcome back. Our next company in today's episode is Arcgate. As a technology industry insider, Kunal Bagla started Arcgate in 2005 with the goal of applying his wealth of consulting experiences to promising early-stage ventures. He enjoys working closely with founding teams on challenging issues that confront startups. Our correspondent Vrinda Chaturvedi interacted with him earlier in Udaipur. Have a look.
Arcade's punchline is we assist budding entrepreneurs develop their business. So how did the idea of this strike of setting up a BPO business?
Sure. And that's a great question. So there are a few important trends happening in the marketplace today. There's, of course, mobility, there's cloud computing, there's social, and then finally there's big data. So a lot of the startups in Silicon Valley and across the world are building their platforms, their apps, and businesses which sit on top of data. So unless you have the back-end business process figured out, any application you build, whether it's in Uber or Facebook or Twitter, you cannot really run your business. And most startups have really good engineering teams, but the data is where they struggle. And the existing IT and ITES providers, the big ones like a Wipro, Genpact, or TCS, they focus on your larger banks. They focus on the Fortune 500 companies. So there's this big gap in the emerging upcoming startups which are venture-backed, have the money and the capital to spend. They do not have service providers, and that's where we come in.
So, Mr. Kunal, you have over a decade's experience of working with like more than 75 startups. So how has been this journey so far?
It's been a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs, but over the years we've learned a lot, grown with the various clients we worked with, and as they've done well, so have we. So it's very rewarding because you end up seeing what's the next innovation and hopefully contribute towards the success, which is exciting, right? So I think it's a lot of tough work, but in the technology, media, consumer tech, financial tech, every different vertical, we've had the experience working with interesting startups. A lot of them have gone public, a lot of them have got acquired by larger players and doing well even today. So it's satisfying and it's been a great journey.
From a modest beginning in 2005, Arcade today has a high state-of-the-art building area of 60,000 square feet, I believe. And you have over 1,500 employees, full-time employees working with you under the diverse culture. The recognition and success of Arcade is mind-blowing. So can you tell us about the strength, the core strength of Arcade?
So we started in 2005, and the core strength or what has got us to this point is purely our people. So a lot of the people who've been with us, right from the early days are still part of the core team, and they've grown with us. And I think that's been the key differentiator. Of course, you have process, you have all the other things which come in, but I think the core component, which we've been lucky enough to groom and grow with, is the core set of people who share the common values, share the same vision and mission, and they've grown from the time we were two people in one room to where we are today.
Arcade's lab is a technological innovation group within Arcade. So can you please tell us about the major products that have come up in this lab?
Yeah, so there are two pieces to labs. One is using technology to make our internal processes more efficient. So we build a lot of technology for workflow automation, client application automation. The second piece is the products we built for end customers. So if you've used an app like dictionary.com to look up, that's been built by us. If you've used Money Control to look up the stock market news and financial information, we've done that. If you read news on Indian Express or First Post, those kind of news apps, those have been built here. So over the years, we've built a lot of good innovative technology in the mobile cloud platforms, which are being used by consumers in India and all over the world. So it's been exciting to innovate and see what's new and try to build some cutting edge technology coming out of India.
Can you tell us about the major clients that you have in Arcade and the areas you offer your services?
Sure. So our core focus is helping venture-backed startups in early to mid-stage offload their back-end business processes to us. So by the very nature that we are focusing on pretty early stage, most of the clients that we work with are not household names yet. And so some of, some of the bigger clients who've been successful have gone on to be acquired by companies like eBay, Intel, Microsoft, and so on. And by the very nature that we worked with the startup, even post-acquisition, we continue to work with the acquiring company. So at this point, we have a pretty good mix of fast-growing, upcoming startups.
Please tell us about the major offerings related to data management and business processing outsourcing offered at Arcgate at your end.
Sure, sure. So our main focus is around data enrichment and any services around big data analytics, back-end processing, and helping our clients optimize their internal systems as they're scaling up. So a lot of back-end workflow management for startups in their early days. We take on all their data work, no voice work, so we do not do call center work. And we believe in India, the research analytics capabilities of the young people is really strong, and that's what we bring to the table, and partner closely with our clients to help them, their different teams, customer support, lead gen, sales marketing, data analytics, the various functions in any upcoming organization scale up and ramp up with us. So it's been a great, exciting journey, win-win for both us and our clients as they're looking for a reliable partner.
The company has a lot of experience working with so many startups. You have closely seen the challenges and the issues every startup faces. Sure. So which issue, according to you, is the major one that every startup should avoid? And what would be your success mantra for a startup?
Yes, so I think the fundamental advice, which I can share after working with so many startups over the last decade, is the ones that are successful have done it where the founding teams and the initial employees really believe in the problem they're solving, what they're trying to offer to the end consumers and businesses, that the product or service is going to go out and to make a difference. The ones that do not typically end up well are the ones who are getting into it just with the goal of trying to make it big from a financial standpoint. And that typically doesn't play well because, as we know, most startups do not end up doing well, and there are a lot of tough times. And when the going gets tough, unless you really are passionate about what you're doing, you really aren't going to pull it through. So that's the biggest problem we see with a lot of clients we work with. Some of them are great and passionate, and they end up doing wonderful things. And some of them, after a year or 2 years, the story doesn't play out well. So I think that's the first fundamental thing you need to do when you're starting a business and building a team, is make sure you're getting like-minded people and doing it because you believe in it. I think that's the first thing. Of course, after that, do what you're good at and build partnerships for things like data entry, things like big data analytics, and so on, which may be not your core competency. So that's the second piece, is finding the right partners. First is finding the right employees, and B is finding the right vendors, partners to grow the ecosystem.
Building a business is a hard work, and it is invaluable for startups to have an experienced outsourcing partner to help them move fast to develop new technologies and innovate products. With this, we come to the end of this episode. I will be back next week with the success stories of few other SMEs. Till then, goodbye and take care.